Shoryuken. Hadouken. Tatsumaki Sambuka. Oh man, this game. Man, this game. I played it so many times trying to get good at it, like trying to actually make the connection in my brain. And freaking, it blew my mind when I found out they actually had to roll your thumb to do a Hadouken instead of, just pushing down forward. Down right. It doesn't work like that. You have to kind of make that connection, like that roll connection between your thumb. And that was so fucking hard. Like, Capcom games are legit difficult when it comes to games. Mega Man's tough. It's hard to play Street Fighter. Resident Evil can be hard, and sometimes, Capcom is pretty famous for having some difficulty, but yeah, like I said, I didn't even remotely try to get good until I had it myself. I think the first time I had Street Fighter, I owned a Street Fighter game, was I bought it on the Wii as one of the virtual console games. I think I bought the Final Challengers. It was Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers. That was my first time ever owning Street Fighter. I played it a bunch in the arcades. I played Street Fighter 4 when it came out after. Well, it came out after the Wii, but what's it called? I played Marvel vs. Capcom. I tried Street Fighter 3, I think, at other people's houses. I played Street Fighter 3 once or twice at the arcade as well. I always kind of pick Ken. I played Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, got my ass kicked. I've had some deep roots with this game, So when I finally started to get good and kind of master things down, I barely got comfortable doing the Shoryuken, barely. I'm 31 years old, and freaking, it was one of those games that just kind of it takes a little while. It's not something that I played forever. I went years without playing a Street Fighter game. I think before the 30th anniversary collection came out on the Switch, before I had that on the Switch, I think I had Alpha 2 on the Wii U Virtual Console. I guess before the Virtual Consoles and stuff like that, I didn't have Street Fighter at all. So yeah, I didn't really take time. It's not like Smash Brothers where I expect myself to kind of be good because I've been playing Smash Brothers since the 64. I accept the fact that, okay, I barely got comfortable doing the Shoryuken, but I'm really, really stoked about it, and I've been really enjoying this game. I think when it comes to Street Fighter, let's say my top, I only use Ken. I'll use Ken, Ryu, and Akuma, but I don't really even like Akuma that much because of that portal type shit. It kind of messes with me a little bit. That's why I don't really use a violent Ken. Evil Ryu does the dash thing too, but I don't really use him either. I mess around with Blanca every now and then. But that's about it. So I don't really have a lot of fighters, but I do have a top, I think the top 5 games, game wise for Street Fighter, and it would be I would probably put Street Fighter 3. I like the Ultra Street Fighter 2 for the Switch a lot. I like that one a lot. I would go Street Fighter Alpha 2. I would probably pick World Warrior just because it started it out. That kind of made everybody flip out. Oh, and then Street Fighter 4. Yeah, for sure. That would be my last game right there. I have Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS. I played that one on the Xbox 360 quite a bit. that game I got into like really kind of knowing how to do the Tatsumaki. So I had the Final Challengers on the Wii. I bought it. I was like, all right, gameplay is okay. Like it's just different. Like I felt clunky, like, you know, and shit like that. And going back to it, I could probably be able to do a little bit better, but it just felt clunky at the time. So I was just kind of like, all right, whatever, it's okay, you know. And then when I played Street Fighter 4 on the 360, that was when I was like, oh shit, that's how you do that. Oh, that's how you do that, because everything just kind of fit so well. It connected really well. It rolled together really well. I was able to do Tatsumaki Senpuha into fucking Shoryukens. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. You know, I still couldn't really get my specials down. I didn't really understand what the specials were, but I was able to do regulars like nothing, you know. And then I was like, okay, cool. So I kind of like branched out and I wanted to get it myself. That's why I bought the 3DS version. I was really enjoying that. And then I pretty much had Street Fighter on every console since the Wii. But the Wii was the one that I didn't play. I played like the least amount of it. You know, Alpha wasn't on there, so, or I didn't see it at the time. But when Alpha 2, I saw Alpha 2 on the virtual console for the Wii U, I bought that right away, and I played that for a little while, and I got pretty good at that one too. I was like, oh shit, I made it all the way to Vice, and I beat that game. Like, I was getting into it, like I was getting used to it, getting the whole. I still couldn't do Shoryukens on command. I could only do it like on Street Fighter 4 if they like rolled into it. Like the Tatsumaki rolled into the Shoryukens. That was like really my only way, but I could do Hadoukens and Tatsumaki's like nothing, you know. So that I was able to play that Alpha 2, got comfortable with that shit. And then when I got my Switch, I bought that 30th anniversary collection, and I was able to really kind of like get into it. Like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'm getting pretty decent. You know what I mean? Like it's all kind of coming together. Like finally, okay, cool. Like it's finally coming together. And then with this one, this Ultra Street Fighter 2, I don't know if that's the one you're seeing right now or the Street Fighter 3, but man, it felt like it just clicked. Like my Shoryukens just came together. Like that was it. Boom. Like my thumb just got used to it, you know. And I just picked up a fighting stick, and let me tell you, it's almost like starting all over again. But I like it though, because I did start off playing in arcades. Like, well, okay, I think my first game was I played either Duck Hunt or NES Mario. But you know, after that, most of like for the next 5 or 6 years, most of my games were in an arcade up until I had my first system, which was the N64. But I didn't get that until I was about 3rd or 4th grade. So I know, right? Poor me. Oh man, oh, I didn't get the 64 until the grade 4th grade. Nah. So that's why I had the fighting stick. I'm like, I wanna get good at that too, you know. Kind of, it's more of like a universal type of thing. Like it doesn't really matter what controller somebody else has, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch. If it's a fighting stick and the joystick's kind of in the same position as mine, and the buttons are, you know, laid out relatively, you know, around that area. You know what I mean? I've seen joysticks where they're like in the middle and the buttons are like laid out on top, and I don't know about that, but you know, I can only get used to one thing at a time. So this is the game that I'm trying to get used to it with, Street Fighter, where it started it all. But I mean, I was like, I'm really liking this Ultra Street Fighter 2. Like, I mean, damn, it's definitely up there. My top 3 is Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Ultra 2, Ultra Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, and fucking Street Fighter 4. Those 3 are probably my top Street Fighter games, you know. And every time I play Marvel vs. Capcom or Capcom vs. SNK, I always make sure I have Ken with me, you know, for the most part. If he's around and he's available, I pick him at least in one of my teams, just because I feel comfortable. Like that's like the when you feel close at home, like, you know, you're like, okay, oh, is Ken there? All right, cool, boom, picking him, boom, picking him. So Street Fighter is pretty cool. I'm glad I finally started making that connection with that and doing kind of good with it. I'm gonna be looking up not local tournaments, but like online tournaments and stuff like that, entering and seeing how I do. Just check shit out, because yeah, that makes sense, you know what I mean? Street Fighter, I think it's here to stay. Street Fighter 6 is coming out you know, pretty soon. That's gonna be really good, hopefully. I mean, I know Street Fighter 5 kind of took advantage of its fans, but I guess I heard that it kind of leveled out a little bit towards the end. So, who knows? And I wanted to get Street Fighter. I did want to play Street Fighter 4, the arcade edition, because those last 4 characters I never got to try out. And I thought that was pretty cool that they made another edition out of it. And then Street Fighter 5 came out like fucking what? No, Street Fighter 4 arcade edition came out, and then 3 months later they started talking about Street Fighter 5. And so it felt like it was kind of fast, you know, like you didn't really get a chance to breathe. You know, it kind of feels like they're doing that again with Street Fighter 6, but it seems to be different enough to where it's like, okay, it's probably a newer game. It probably is a new game, you know, a newer engine, new mechanics. And it does take place after Street Fighter 3, which is the first game that canonically takes place after Street Fighter 3. Everything before it has been before Street Fighter 3 timeline. So get to finally see what happens. I don't know why Ken's getting a divorce, but it's going on, my guy. Anyways, like I said, y'all, I'm gonna probably take a little break. I'll be throwing up gameplay videos still. Probably won't be anything on YouTube. I don't like throwing up little clips on YouTube unless it's like more than 4 or 5 minutes. So probably won't hear anything on YouTube for a while until season 5 starts up again, unless I do another little podcast thing. But for sure, gonna be coming back in 2023. I will be throwing up gameplay videos though. You know, that's still gonna happen. Memes and stuff. Stick around on Facebook, Instagram, stick around on YouTube. You know, we're gonna go big. We just hit 5,100 followers, so let's keep going. And stick around and stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate our community. Thank you all for staying tuned. When the podcast returns, we're gonna just call it the game room, because yeah, we're gonna be talking about everything now in between seasons and stuff. And then I'm gonna see about doing season 5, if it's gonna be live or if season 5 is gonna be something different altogether. And then we could do season 5. There'll be the podcast, the game room, and live streaming. So stay tuned. 2023, we're gonna be coming back. Appreciate y'all. Stick around. Peace.